I'd like to welcome everybody to Round Trip Death today and to our special guest, Mario from Southern California. Mario, good morning.
Good morning.
And I didn't even want to try to say your last name because I'm going to mess it up. So please tell us your full name if you'd like to.
Sure. Mario Quinones Revolori.
Excellent, Mario. Anyway, it's really good to have you and to see you. Tell us a little bit about you for our listeners.
Yes, for sure. My name is Mario Quinones Revolori again, and I was born in Guatemala. I came to California when I was 12 years old, and I grew up right in the heart of the entertainment industry, first in Anaheim, California, then in the Hollywood area. I'm a writer, author, and I've been an actor, and I'm the father of actor Tony Revolori, best known for the role of Zero in the Grand Budapest Hotel. Currently I live in Burbank area, next to Universal Studios, and I've been having fun writing my books. I wrote 2 books. I'm writing 2 more, and the first one that I wrote was Dead to Me Hollywood, that it tells a story of my life, and the second one is called Megam Fish Me Out, which is a superhero book, and I like it. It's on sale right now on Amazon.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, I'd encourage people to go look those up, and if you'd like, we can put those in the show notes for you too, so
Sure.
people can find them. Hey, let's go back to where you were growing up in Colombia. Did I get that wrong?
No, yeah, Guatemala.
Guatemala?
Yeah, Guatemala.
It was one or the other. Okay, Will, edit that part out.
All right.
Take us back to you growing up in Guatemala. And when you were 8 years old, something very unusual happened to you. Why don't you tell us what happened?
Yes, for sure. Actually, I was in school because over there the school year starts in January and ends the last week of October or the first week of November. So it was the last day of school, and I went back home at about noon. And then my mom was waiting for me. I went to take lunch for my dad and to work in the field, and I stayed working with him. At about 5 in the afternoon, I was so tired, I didn't feel good, and my dad didn't want to go home yet. He was still working. I was working with him, sowing some seeds, and I didn't tell, like I said to him, that I was so miserable at that age. So we went back home at like 5:40, something like that. And when I got home, I went straight to bed. All of a sudden, like 20 to 15 minutes in bed, I started to bend, and my knees went all the way up to my chest. And in my mind, I didn't think properly. So when my dad came in, or I don't remember if it was my dad or my mom, and saw me crawling up, and they tried to straighten me, but they couldn't. So they went to the town doctor, who was a relative, a distant relative to my dad. So he came to the house and checked me out, and he says he's gonna die tonight. If he makes it through the night, then he's gonna live. But otherwise,
Did he diagnose what it was that was wrong with you?
no, he didn't. He couldn't, because I was bent in half. In the how do you say this? In tremendous pain on my chest on the right side, that I couldn't control myself, and I was just moaning in pain. So when he came, but he says there is nothing that I can do because he's gonna die. So he left, and 2 hours later when he left, I died. So my dad and my mom went and invited people to come and support them for the burial and everything. So some people started to come into a house, and it was my grandmother too.
And that was the very same night?
The very same night that we came from the field. Okay, and so I died.
Go ahead and take your time and give us lots of detail.
All right, cool. So then, I when I died and my dad started crying and everything, I went up, something came out of my body, and then I felt that it flew all over the horizon, something special, something beautiful that I saw. I saw lights, beams of lights, pictures of lights, and I was so happy and then traveling to the place. I still remember like it was yesterday, and I didn't want to return. I didn't want to do anything. I said, "This is happiness. This is beautiful. This is tunnels of lights that I saw. Tremendous. It's something that I couldn't describe in words exactly the way I should do it, or I would love to do it. But it was amazing, and so people came. Some people came, because remember it was in a village, small village. I remember that place was about 14 houses spread around in the village, and there's a river that runs through, and then the river ran next to our house, so my dad was crying and praying and everything. So he didn't want to let me go, because I'm the first son. There's sisters older than me, but from the boys, our family, a large family, have a large family, 12 of us to go together, and but I was the first son. I was my two sisters and I. So my dad was so proud of me, and I helped him in the field, and I was going to school at the same time. And then all of a sudden I came back. I didn't want to leave it. When I woke up and came back to my body, I was shaking, but I was still bent. And my head was kind of like a twisted to one side. I don't remember if it was the left or the right, but it went all the way up almost to my back, and it didn't come out. Didn't come back out, and I was kind of crawling and everything. And I told my dad, I remember I told my dad, "Dad, why are you so mean to me? Why didn't you let me stay? I wanted to stay over there because God had me over there, and then I was happy with him. Please let me go." My dad answered me. That was just in real life. And then he says, "No, son, I'm not stopping you to go to wherever you're gonna go. And if you want to stay, you can stay." And he was crying, and I came back to life. And it took me about 2 years to go back to my original position. They took me to the hospital, and I spent like 3 months in the hospital. And then my chest was, it had a bump, like a big cyst, tremendous like that, like a big ball, like a I think it was larger than a baseball. That they grew up from the pain on my chest, and the doctors at a hospital couldn't diagnose exactly what happened to me.
My mouth is dropped open here, because we've gone over a lot of things really fast, and I've never heard of something like this before, where somebody gets contorted. Sounds like from the pain, but then that didn't go away for a long time. Wow. Let's go back. I would love to hear more detail about after you died. Did your parents get an idea of how long you were dead for?
Yeah, they told me about 20 minutes. Yeah, because people came into the house in about 20 minutes. Mm-hmm.
About 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then you just sort of woke up and surprised everybody?
Yeah, that's what really happened.
I wonder what their response was like.
They were in shock, especially my grandma that was over there supporting me.
Wow. Wish we had a hidden camera back then. That would have been something to see. All right, tell me more about leaving your body. Did you have a chance to look back at your body? Some people do, some people don't.
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't see. I just saw my spirit that went up to that special place. Like I said, it was paradise, like they call it. Indeed. But
Tell us about that. You describe it as a special place in paradise. Do you remember anything that you saw, or was it just what you felt?
no, I saw it. I saw lights, like kind of starry roads, and illuminated with different light shapes, and then like kind of but angelical and then heavenly figures and everything. It was amazing. It was something that the way I could describe it is more beautiful than a rainbow. And I've seen beautiful rainbows in the sky, especially in Central America. You know, there is a tropical country, and it rains a lot, and the rainbows form almost everywhere.
Is there anything else that you remember, for example, meeting anybody, any entities there?
No, I didn't see. I didn't see any of that. It was just lights, and like I said, like everything, how should I say, like some form of lights and linings and illuminated things, but I didn't see no creatures, angelical, like an angel or like God or like a spirit or someone who was welcoming me or anything like that. I wasn't
You
able
saw
to
all
see that.
kinds of beauty.
Just all kind of beauty, but it was kind of the way that I should say it is like movies, like when you get those fiction movies, that it gives you forms and the especially nowadays. Have you seen that? Especially in the Christian world, that they put figures and angels, and then I say, how do they do that? Even in Shakespeare nowadays, that they give you the how do you call this? The recommendations that you watch the video, and they give you a picture, and by the picture you click because you see that picture is very
Yeah,
interesting.
all this computer generated.
Those kind of things. Yeah, exactly. That's what I saw.
Yeah.